corruption inside every sector. But when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up. You done fed up. He done fed up. She done fed up. We done fed up. The people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look with the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup.
At Big Bird Transportation Service, we specialize in safe, fast, and dependable delivery transportation for businesses and individuals. Whether you're sending a small package across town or need scheduled deliveries for your company, we're here to make sure your items arrive on time, every time. Our team is committed to providing efficient logistics solutions with a personal touch. With a fleet of well-maintained vehicles and experienced drivers, we handle every delivery with care, from pickup to drop-off. Why choose Big Bird? On-demand and scheduled deliveries. Local and regional coverage. Secure and professional handling. Customer first service. Call us today at 929-329-9938 and let Big Bird take your deliveries to the next level.
Good night and welcome to Straight Up on 107.1 FM. We're going to rock and roll this evening, and let's start right off the bat. This is the new Demerara Harbor Bridge. Oh, yeah. And this new Demerara Harbor Bridge, of course, a brainchild of the APNU AFC coalition government. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It just so happened that these corrupt vagabonds in the PPP regime were able to get a bigger and a far more expensive deal to rush the job. Okay, now we need to get to the bottom of something. Not to the bottom of the Demerara River, but we need to get to the bottom of something. That's what we need to get to. The bottom of something. And the trench crappos are already out. They are already nervous. I don't know why they even bother coming on this program to comment, because the minute they comment, our operators, Lemon, Orange, and Kitchen Garden, will throw them immediately in the trench. We have absolutely no time to waste with them. Now let's move on. Again, those of you who have already shared the link, thank you. And let us hope that the ERC, the corrupt ERC, the Ethnic Relations Commission in Guyana, let us hope that they're watching. And some of those vagabonds there as commissioners, and not all of them, they might have one or two good ones. But let us hope that they're listening tonight or watching or whatever. Even if they're in the rum shop or, the cathedral area, let us hope they are watching, because I want to say something to them. And let us hope that some of those hypocrites over at Azradeen, like Azradeen and them, I hope they're watching as well, because it's the same Azradeen and those guys in that group, call it some win. They were swift to denounce and call on people to RESPECT, the quote unquote First Lady of Guyana. But there was a reason for that, right? And we don't see the condemnation in other areas when necessary. And far worse things have been said of women of African descent. Now let's take a look at this here. One of them, the one on the right, is a member of Azradin's group. And thus far, because they love to rush to say they are the first for this, they are the first for that, they're the first for this, and for all manner of things. But thus far, no condemnation about this here at all. Because this so-called page, some Baku or whatever it is, that's Kwame and her gang. That's them. That's the PPP. This is what they're using your tax dollars to do. No condemnation by those self-righteous individuals. Some of them we recently observed they've been speaking out a lot from the APNU side as well, PNC side, because they didn't get a seat, they didn't get this, they didn't, and they've all gone quiet. So none of them will come out and condemn this here. Now, this is the Demerara Harbor Bridge, or the Demerara Bridge, sorry, the Demerara Bridge. They have a photograph. I believe that is Coretta McDonald. And the other person on the right is supposed to be Odessa Primus. No condemnation, none whatsoever. Now take a look at this. Take a look. They said testing the bridge, and you put two women of African descent. And you say final load testing tomorrow before commissioning of the new Demerara Bridge. Final load. So you took two African Guyanese women and you put them on the bridge and you say that you're testing the bridge. The ERC is quiet about this. The Women's Organization of Guyana, they are quiet about this. Now, I haven't seen any condemnation coming from the woman's arm of the PNC. And forgive me if they did issue a statement, but I have not seen anything as yet. Collectively, the 12 MPs for APNU should have issued a statement condemning this here. Now, I haven't seen that. Maybe it's loading. But let us take a look at what's happening here. These are two African Guyanese women, and the PPP vagabonds, the swines in the PPP, they feel comfortable to disrespect these women. Now, I don't agree with everything Odessa says or she does, and so mind you, okay. But this here, I will stand up for them. This here, I will stand up for them, and the same for Coretta McDonald. Now, why would the PPP, Irfan Ali and Jack Dewa and all those vagabonds in the PPP, and not a word from Mark Phillips, not a word from Jermaine Figueroa, not a word from the erection guy, whatever his name is, not a word from these guys. Nothing. You know why? And not even Bondage, the cowpen gangster. Not a word from any of them. Not a word from any of the black women, the African Guyanese women in the PPP. They can't speak. They can't say nothing. They know they are basically there to hustle. They know they are basically field workers. I don't want to call them house slaves. I just don't want to do that. But they cannot say a word, not a word. There's no democracy in the PPP. And those African Guyanese in the PPP can't say a word. Can't say a word. Unlike the PNC, we see all the talking on who racism and who don't treat Indians properly and all manner of foolishness at times, right? But these Africans, cowpen gangsters and them, and Lick Lip, and Mark Phillips and those others, and even the one that is sitting there as, sitting there as Minister of Home Affairs. They can't say a word, not a word. They cannot condemn anything, nothing. Now back to these two African Guyanese women standing. The PPP is the one responsible for this. And now I usually see you guys sharing PPP propaganda. Some of you guys sharing PPP garbage. I don't know why y'all do that. Y'all got to condemn these vagabonds in the PPP. Now back to the ERC. You think the ERC is going to condemn this? But then again, if these guys in the opposition, and the real guys them in the opposition, because I consider the 12 guys, the 12 MPs, they're supposed to be the smartest on the block. And they're supposed to start playing smart politics. They can't play lock away in meeting politics. It's done for that. But getting back to this, none of them, I have not seen any one of them came out to condemn this year at all. And so I am, on behalf of Lemon, Orange, and Kitchen Garden, and the whole crew right here on 107.1 FM, we condemn this. Now, let's look at it from the flip side of things, right? I want you guys to hear me out. Let's look at it from the flip side of things. And let's flip this script here now. What if someone on social media that is a supporter of the APNU, PNC, or whatever the opposition they are, what if a supporter, or what if someone from Congress Place or wherever, or what if one of those MPs, the 12, what if they had put, let's say, Priya Manik-Chand on the, because Priya Manik-Chand, I don't know what's going on now, but this was Priya Manik-Chand then. I'm glad that we still have the screen, but this was Priya. What if they took Priya Manik-Chand, put her on that bridge like this, alongside the wife of Irfan Ali? What if they had done that? Then, only then, the ERC, the Ethnic Relations Commission, they would have gone out. They would have been scattering. Y'all would have heard from Win and Azruddin and all these folks, these self-righteous individuals condemning. And some of those African Guyanese, the upper middle class and the mid, this is so wrong. Even some of the MPs in the 12 may have been condemning it right away. Figgy, the Piggy, would have condemned it too. Oh yes, he would have. Bondage, Paupen Gangster or Kaupen Gangster would have done so too. All of them would have been rushing out to condemn if it was Priya on the bridge or if it was Arya on the bridge. But no, not a single one of them came out to condemn this here at all. Not a single one, no one, absolutely no one said a word about this here. And this is where I'm calling now on those in the APNU. Forget about Win. They on a different mission. They're not on a mission for any proper development. They are on a different mission. Trust me on that. But the APNU guys and others, I didn't see any condemnation, by the way. What's her name? She took the seat from Amanza Walton. Well, Amanza is doing 3 years, right? Apostle London got to do 2. The other ones, them now complaining that they should have been doing 1 or 2. But that's another story. Did Amanza Walton desire? Did she say something about this? Did she condemn this? Because when the PPP put Amanza Walton desire on a poll, lots of folks condemned it. But if Amanza is silent on this matter, then I ask myself, why? Because just the other day she was talking about bullying, or is this bullying tactics or whatever? It's being used conveniently. And so it doesn't apply to this here. These women are obviously being bullied and disrespected by the corrupt PPP regime. Not a word. And now if Amanza said anything, because she likes to talk about who's bullying and women and all these sort of things, Now, suddenly, if she said something, show me it, and then I'll retract my statement. But for now, all of these people are silent. I wonder why. Just the other day, somebody said something about Arya, and Azraddin and these guys rushed out like a pack of hypocrites. Oh, we condemn this, and you cannot attack the first, quote unquote, mind you, first lady. You cannot, and fair enough. Fair enough. Nobody should be attacking anyone. But these hypocrites should not be convenient when they are condemning these things. You have to be consistent. You have to be able to condemn across the board. Is it happening? Are we seeing that happening? No. And so the question is, when it happens to Guyanese women of African descent, it seems as though there's a different set of rules. And the rules basically for those guys who are silent, it is acceptable as long as these things, these lynching and these disrespect and all manner of things to women of African descent by PPP members, by PPP members of parliament, all these sort of things, it is acceptable. It is acceptable. And some folks are afraid to condemn these actions. What about the pastors? Well, forget about Obraj. Obraj probably wouldn't condemn it. Maybe tomorrow he'll issue a statement. All right. But what's going on? Or is it only the other ethnic groups are human beings and African Guyanese aren't human beings? But watch some of the condemnation. They're gonna issue press releases and all sorts of things. Just watch. Not a word from the first lady, mind you, quote unquote, first lady. Not a word, not a single word from her. No condemnation, because they love these sort of things. They probably say, look, Odessa go way down the bridge, or look, Coretta go way down the bridge. But they're forgetting where they came from or how they were. You know what I mean? They're forgetting where they came from or how they were, and not so long ago. And now we are not on this program to body shame anybody. This is not what this program is about. We are highlighting the hypocrisy of these vagabonds. That is what we're doing. And no condemnation at all means that they are condoning these sort of racist and discriminatory actions against women of African descent in Guyana. That is what's happening. What is happening in your neck of the woods? Good night again, and welcome to Straight Up. We are just here to point out the hypocrisy by these guys. We're not here to laugh at anybody. So this is not a situation where we are laughing at Priya Manik Chand. Now, people have a right, if they are not comfortable with their body weight or whatever, it's okay to reduce. It's okay. We are not laughing at anybody. We're just pointing something out. And we're just saying again that what if it was Priya Manik Chand on this bridge? What if it was Arya on the bridge? Then the ERC would have been writing to folks. The ERC would have been condemning it. And the Guyana, the so-called Bar Association, they would have been condemning it. And they would have been paying even members of the Private Sector Commission to condemn it because it's wrong. It's only wrong when it happens to a Guyanese who just, as long as they're not persons of African descent, right? Once you're persons of African descent, it's acceptable. Everything is acceptable, right? But when it happens to some other ethnic group, it is so wrong. And the person is racist and all manner of things you will hear, right? But they're quiet about these things. But then sometimes you can't blame those vagabonds who are quiet, because the very people who should be condemning these things almost right away are themselves quiet. And you got to ask yourselves, why? Why are they so quiet? Anyways, good night again to all of you. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshaw. Let's go to Trinidad and Tobago. And for those of you who have a Trini accent, feel free to use it in the comment section there, and how are you doing, and all sort of things. Now let's touch on sports. Sportsmen and women in Guyana, they have been given the royal runaround. For many, many years, those of you who understand and have witnessed this in Guyana, as I have on numerous occasions, athletes, whenever they have to go out of the country, Guyana, to represent Guyana, they hardly receive any sort of help from the government. And in this case, the PPP we're talking about. They don't give athletes anything. They don't support athletes. They don't provide for the athletes. And so the athletes have to walk all over Georgetown, all over Linden, all over Kukwani, all over Ituni, Bartica, or Letem, or under quarantine, wherever they are. They have to walk with a bowl and they have to beg. They have to beg for money. And oftentimes when they walk into your business or whatever, and now this is not a laughing stock. I'm not laughing the athletes at all, but I'm just speaking reality. And so they go into business, they want a little 5,000, they want a little 10,000, or whatever you can afford to. Or they will write a letter to the organization, some sports club, they need help, and so forth. And they have to beg for money to travel outside of Guyana to represent the country. And the corrupt PPP regime doesn't give a rat's you-know-what about that. And so that is how they treat athletes, and primarily athletes of African descent. They have no regards for them, unless they could give them a red T-shirt, or they could call on the DPP to withdraw serious charges against some of them. That is what is happening in Guyana. And so now I say this because of the billions of dollars, oil revenue. And now you have your athletes. The only time the PPP, the corrupt PPP regime, remembers them is when they do well outside of Guyana, whether swimming, whether boxing, or whatever. And then they rush down at the airport. You notice Kashif they jump, and Ramson Jr. and all of them, they rush down to the airport because they know the cameras are there. And so they smile for the camera. They do all sorts of things for the cameras. They dance to the cameras. They whine on the camera. They do all sorts of things, if you know what I mean, to the cameras and with the cameras. It's all a show. They do not care about our athletes. They never care about the boxers. Mainly a lot of African Guyanese cricketers have been sidelined. All manner of things happen in Guyana, even the swimmers. And so I'm making this point because let's go to Trinidad and Tobago. That's why I said Trinidad and Tobago. And here is what came out of the mouth of one of those sportsmen out there in Trinidad and Tobago. And listen carefully and understand where I'm coming from.
And I sat with President Ufran Ali on Saturday in a 6-hour-long meeting. And he was telling me that he wanted to use some of our athletes to push sports in Guyana, actually, while we have these legends here. So we are going to use our legends to push sport and tourism in our country going forward.
Now, apart from the body language of the Prime Minister, Kamala Bissessar, right, apart from her body language and her facial expression, somewhere along the line, I felt she was uncomfortable with that public revelation there, but she still did her thing, right? But she was a bit uncomfortable. But that guy spoke the truth. He said, look, he met for 6 hours. Now, Irfan Ali got 6 hours to sit down with them, those Trinidadian athletes, nothing against them, mind you, to discuss how they could help Guyanese athletes. When you, Irfan Ali, and the PPP, you have been spending hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars in the sports sector, and nothing in return, because you guys are wasting the money. You guys got wrong set of people in places, square pegs in wrong hole, and then you go now to Trinidad and Tobago, and then this embarrassment. 6 hours, not 6 minutes, 6 hours. Have you heard Irfan Ali and the PPP sitting with our athletes in Guyana, whether boxers, whether swimmers, or whatever, for 6 hours to discuss anything meaningful with them, to ask them what they need, whether they need scholarships, whether they need some supplement money, whether they can supplement whatever it is, their income or whatever. absolutely nothing. Whether they need any boxing gloves, whether they need any cricket bats. Well, they give cricket bats to Mahika and those areas, right? And now, Mark, stop it. What do you mean those areas? Reality. But nothing for the people out in Linden unless they can use them politically, right? And they put their thugs out in Linden to say to those athletes, if you want something, you got to be close to the party. You got to take a picture with the Minister of Sports and all manner of things to control them. Now, you cannot have successful athletes or sportsmen and women if you are going to control them politically. They're not going to give you their best. And that is what the PPP is doing. But shame and disgrace that they gone to Trinidadian sportsmen and women and begging them that they want them to come over. All you come to Guyana and help now. You have qualified individuals in Guyana, swimmers. You have boxers. You do nothing for them. Some of them walk the streets. Some of them are homeless. Some of them could have gotten scholarships, all manner of things, but you disrespected them. You want to use them and all manner of things, and then you go to Trinidad now to embarrass all yourself. Shame on Irfan Ali. Shame on, Ramson Jr. Shame on them. All Ramson Jr. wants to do, walk around and play like he's a gangster too. So he's walking around with gangster, this guy Demon, who was sanctioned for drug trafficking by the US. Sanctioned for drug trafficking. And this sports minister is more important about giving out contracts to these vagabonds so that they can control communities and control sports and so forth. Meanwhile, Irfan Ali, I want to talk to all of you. 6 hours? Now he's supposed to be the installed president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. But yet he found 6 hours to sit with these guys to talk about sports in Guyana. They said it. I am not the one who's saying it. This is not about propaganda. Listen for yourselves again.
And I sat with President Irfan Ali on Saturday in a 6-hour-long meeting. And he was telling me that he wanted to use some of our athletes to push sports in Guyana, actually, while we have these legends here. So we are going to use our legends to push sport and tourism in our country going forward.
You know, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago wasn't really too comfortable with that. But forgive me, though, guys. Who is that guy that was speaking? Forgive me, please. You know, I'm going up there in age, right? But who? He looks like a cricketer, or who is this guy? Please, let me see. I'll check the comment section there.
And I sat with President Irfan Ali on Saturday in a 6-hour-long meeting. And he was telling me that he wanted to use some of our athletes to push sports in Guyana, actually, while we have these legends here. So we are going to use our legends to push sport and tourism in our country going forward.
I don't know if he's a cricketer or something like that, but he is basically saying to Irfan Ali, to hell with you. 6 hours sitting with them, and he's basically saying, no. They are going to utilize whatever skills they have for the people, sportsmen and women in Trinidad and Tobago. 6 hours Irfan wasted his time. But does he go to Linden, Irfan Ali? Does he go to Linden to meet and talk with athletes there? Does he do that? Somebody said that that's the sports minister, Trinidad and Tobago. It's the sports minister. But of course, Kamala, the prime minister, she wasn't happy about that at all. The corrupt PPP regime should be ashamed of themselves. What do they really do for sports? What? Can you say, any one of you in the audience, can you point to 2 or 3 things, successful things in the area of sports that the PPP was able to accomplish from 2020, August 2nd of 2020 to now? Name 2 things. Other than Kashif and Shanghai and them banners get a little position, especially Kashif, they get a little position, they give friends and cronies position, and now they have a junior minister. It's all sports to them is a sport. It is not about you, it's not about the public, it's not about our athletes. But because they're just back again in their positions, they're going to run around pretending that they care. Look what happens in about 6 months from now. Do you think they are going to care about you guys? No. The athletes will be back in the streets begging for donations. That is what is going to be happening again. All right, let me look at some of your comments. I hope we got that point straight, that with the billions of dollars, oil revenue and so forth, the corrupt PPP regime doesn't care about the people. They do not respect sportsmen. They do not respect sportswomen in Guyana at all, unless you're likes of Asar One or my friend Shivnarine Chandra Paul. And some African Guyanese cricketers can tell you the whole long story. And the corrupt PPP regime doesn't really care about soccer. When was the last time you had a big soccer match at the stadium? And Irfan Ali and Jugdeo and those vagabonds have gone there, and they call on their friends and their families in the private sector to support soccer or what is it, athletics, long jump, 100-meter sprinters and these things. Have you seen that recently? Or even swimming. They don't focus. They hardly focus on that stuff, but they will put a bunch of money into cricket. Check out who had the cricket board, the Guyana cricket board, and all these different cricket clubs and so forth and so on. Check out and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Again, good night and welcome to Straight Up. It's 42 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benshap, and Joseph is correct. All they think about is cricket and cricket. For the corrupt PPP regime, they believe that cricket is just sports. Cricket for them is the only sport. So they're going to go to the National Stadium. They might do something at Albion Sports Complex, but now they don't do cricket or sports at Albion Sports Complex. It's bare politics. They're campaigning. That's all. Whining and jump up at Albion Sports Complex. An Albion Sports Complex created by who? And maintained by the PNC and Forbes Burnham. But they're not going to tell you that it was well maintained under the PNC and well funded under Burnham. But they're not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you, say, Burnham been a one racist. They got tell you, say, Burnham been ban flour. This time the man never ban flour, but they never tell you that. They got tell you, Burnham ban split peas. So you don't have to be dal and rice. Oh, you don't have to be sunny. You don't have to be sunny. I mean, oh, my mama, Burnham. They're not going to tell you those good things about Burnham. But they're going to come up with fabricated things, right? Lies and propaganda. That's the PPP regime for you guys. And we here on 107.1 FM, we need to move away from Trinidad and Tobago. We already pointed out the hypocrisy of the PPP regime and the fact that Irfan Ali just doesn't care. Now, let's continue on the same subject of hypocrisy. Now, before we talk about that, let me just take a quick sip of water. I need to resurrect myself, right? Sorry.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If God.
PPP will take care of you from erection to resurrection.
Now, there are other things we want to talk about at 44 minutes after 9 o'clock, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, welcome. And we're glad that you're able to join us to take you through the night, right? We may just stop at 10 o'clock. Who knows? Maybe you'll go a minute over. But here is something else I wish to talk to you guys about, right? Something you probably heard about. But before we let's warm up a little. Do you know that loudmouth guy, Critic? Is that? Yeah, Critic, that loudmouth guy. Whenever he's on his show, blah, 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 you think that he's the baddest thing out of Guyana, the smell bad thing out of Guyana. But just the other day, he's really a pussycat, And this is the real Critic. Take a look. And let me say, these two guys, whoever they are our heroes because they were able to take the cat. That sounds bad, right? The cat put his tail between his legs. Look at the cat, that pussy cat, that scaredy cat. named Critic. He couldn't say a word. He was under his breath. He was muttering something like if he gets stroke in his mouth. Look, I'm not mocking anybody at all, but I'm just pointing things out about this clown here. Take a listen. But these two guys, whoever they are, both look familiar. I think they're Brooklynites, and Brooklynites don't chuck it like that. And so Critic couldn't get past these guys. These two guys are our heroes tonight. So say kudos to them, whoever they are.
Who's that one? Low lights and hungry bellies.
Again, these are the two heroes, man. We like these guys. Low life. Who's that? They actually called Critic, that pussycat in front of his face, a low life, a hungry belly dog. Those two guys did it. And they did it not only for all of us here on 107.1 FM. They didn't do it for all of you who are watching or listening right now. They did it for the entire Guyana. Just a few people they didn't do it for, but they did it for the entire Guyana. If I had my way for the city, I'll give them the key. The next time they go back to Guyana, I'll give them the key to the city of Georgetown. They deserve it. Hey, guys, congratulations. We love what you did there.
Who's that one? Low lights and hungry bellies.
Why didn't he put or attempt to put any of those two guys to snore? Why didn't he try it? He would have been snoring for the entire flight. You see that guy in the blue shirt? You see them guys? All right. I'm not saying that all muscle guys, but obviously the pussycat was afraid of them. But let's move on to other stuff. Good night to all of you. My name is Mark Benchap. You're watching Straight Up. All right, Straight Up. Whoever those guys are, man, whoever they are, they deserve good job. Now let's move on. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean our operator something else. We shouldn't be doing that at all, right? Because the ERC might be watching us, and we are afraid of the ERC. All right. What else? What else we want to talk about here tonight? Let's move on to something else. I want to bring to your attention bondage, also known as cowpen gangster. Now, APNU, PNC APNU, and the members of parliament, they're out there on the ground. They are working. They are working the ground. They hop into communities that have been neglected by the corrupt PPP regime. And these MPs want to make sure they go out in person and meet with people. So these three MPs that I recognize are one, Sherrod Duncan. The other is Dr. Terence Campbell. And the other is businessman Saiku Andrews. Now, I don't know why James Bondage, something about African men and James Bondage, his bumps raise. And everything the PNC, everything APNU and PNC, anything they do, James Bondage, his bumps raise. I don't know who he admires here. I don't know. But something is definitely wrong with Bondage. In my opinion, something is definitely wrong with Bondage. And I want you to hear me out. Hear me out, please. Something is wrong with Bondage. Now look at this picture. They walk into a community. You know, in Guyana, people walk around with a little short pants, no shirt. Sometimes on the quarantine back in my days, people walk out the street with bucked up. It's the culture. You know, it's the culture. So this guy here now engaged in a nice talk with Saiku Andrews, Terence Campbell, and Sherrod Duncan. The other guy in the green, please forgive me, green t-shirt there at the end. I don't recognize him, but maybe I do know who he is, but I just don't in this photograph. But the guy in the shorts, oh man, how many of y'all walk around Guyana, run to the next door store or wherever to buy a loaf of bread, to buy 2 tennis rolls, or to credit 2 cigarettes, or something like that, or to buy a lighter, or something, or to buy dog food? Well, these days people can't even afford dog food. And so James Bond now wants to pick on everything because he got to fight for his supper, he little crumbs, So this is what he said about these guys here. Why dehumanize a human being in this manner? On the campaign train, I tell my social media team, do not, and I believe what he's trying to say, do not take photos. Now, who the heck is this hypocrite? He told his social media team, whatever social media team, do not take photos. And he's condemning these guys of APNU MPs for doing this. He says that, why dehumanize this guy? Why? Now, this is hypocrite, cope and gangster, bondage. This is what he's saying. Now, this is Bond. He didn't care. This was in June 2015. He rushed into Tiger Bay, not Gaza. The back there said Tiger Bay. He wanted to do something. He formed some chess club last for about a week or that's it. Anything to make money. Anything as a gangster to make money. But he wasn't dehumanizing the people there then. He wasn't dehumanizing them when he walked into the kitchen. And look, this is Bond. This is what he did. In June of 2015, he wasn't dehumanizing them then, right? Oh. You guys get the message, right? About the hypocrisy? But look what he did to condemn those individuals. Y'all got to pay attention to these copen gangsters, This, he wasn't dehumanizing these people here. And he said, look, this is their apartment. So he walked in there and he took their photographs. But that's not the end. Doing? Can somebody tell me what were they? Isn't this Bond? Isn't this James Bondage? What do you guys see here? What is different from this photograph with this guy and the MPs or a couple of the MPs, some of the MPs from APNU, Duncan, Campbell, and Saiku? He, James Bondage, condemned them for this, said that it's, why dehumanize human being? Oh, Bond. Oh, hypocrite. Oh, silly little copen gangster hypocrite. Oh, hypocrite. Why, yes, Bond, why dehumanize these human beings? Why? Why dehumanize these human beings? Why do it? Why? I don't know. I can't understand why they would do something like this. Yeah, look at the PPP, look at Bond. Why would they dehumanize these human beings? Huh? The hypocrisy is so glaring that I think by now you guys understand what is going on. And therefore, you shouldn't be listening to anything this hypocrite has to say. Nothing at all. 5 cents, 2 cents, hustlers. So he goes around the city because this is a way to make money, He's going to get a little petty cash, susu money from the PPP to drive around. Then you're going to get 2 persons, said is the bodyguard. You're going to get a little pay for them. They're going to drive around. They're going to point at garbage. They're going to do all sorts of things because he got to work for gambling money. He got to work for his money. That is what it's about. And so, oh, man, Bondage has absolutely no shame. Absolutely no shame at all. I guess he's comfortable taking a photo like this. He doesn't feel he's dehumanizing this young man who has his pants all the way down. Maybe that's why Bond took the picture. Who knows? Who knows? 55 minutes after 9 o'clock. My name is Mark Benshop. What's going on in your neck of the wood, guys? Let me see. What we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll... sorry about that. We're not crossing the Demerara Bridge. We're not going to do that at this point in time, but we just want to say that we condemn this action by the corrupt PPP regime, and we have not seen anyone, any political party, any group, any hustler, nobody came out to condemn this here. No one, absolutely no one at all. I wonder why. I guess we already know why, right? So we'll take a quick break and be right back with the conclusion of Straight Up.
At Big Bird Transportation Service, we specialize in safe, fast, and dependable delivery transportation for businesses and individuals. Whether you're sending a small package across town or need scheduled deliveries for your company, we're here to make sure your items arrive on time, every time. Our team is committed to providing efficient logistics solutions with a personal touch. With a fleet of well-maintained vehicles and experienced drivers, we handle every delivery with care, from pickup to drop-off. Why choose Big Bird? On-demand and scheduled deliveries. Local and regional coverage. Secure and professional handling. Customer first service. Call us today at 929-329-9938 and let Big Bird take your deliveries to the next level.
All right, welcome back to Straight Up. We are going to rock and roll for just a couple of minutes more. But let me just remind you guys, do not take chances. Do not, because the main opposition, in my opinion, the main opposition, sensible, smart, and will work for you. Remember, they're not working to save themselves. They're working for you. These 12 folks. And we've got to call them out. They've got to go out there. They got to hit the streets. We see Terrence Campbell is there in the streets. We see Saiku is there in the streets. We see Dr. Dexter Todd is in the streets. But he's not in the streets in Guyana. He's in the streets in Gambia. I don't know if he thought that after elections over it was Gambia, not Guyana. But hopefully when Dr. Todd gets back to Guyana, he will hit the streets also. Nima Flubes, I think she is hitting the streets. I saw her riding a bicycle the other day. Ganesh got to come out of the air condition office and hit the streets too. These guys, all of them got to hit the streets, every single one of them. David Hines got to hit the streets as well. And focus on areas, all of them, areas that are beneficial for the people of Guyana. Now, I don't know what Roop Narayan is up to. Like I've said the other day, I really don't know who he is, but we need to see more of him hitting the streets as well. The young man from Region 5, Jordan, Vince Roy Jordan, I haven't been seeing much of him recently, and they have to hit the streets. But let me say this now. Bosai, workers at Bosai decide to dung tools. They want more money, and rightly so. Rightly so. And let me say kudos to the team that negotiated. It wasn't Azardin, because those guys don't have any negotiating skills. Just rush in, take a quick picture, come back and feel that they solved the problem. And that is why the union rep put a statement out thanking Sharma Solomon, mainly Sharma Solomon and Coretta McDonald, thanked them publicly for negotiating and working with them to ensure that they come to some sort of solution to the matter on both sides. And so kudos to Sharma Solomon and Coretta McDonald and others, the union head, the union rep, who made this thing happen. Now, the union guy said that Azradin went in, folded his hand for 2 minutes, took some photographs, left, and thought that it's okay to go on social media and say, look at what, they were able to suck. Y'all got to be careful with these 5-cent hustlers moving into your communities, taking photographs and rushing out, taking credit for something that they haven't done. Be careful, guys. Be careful with the gangsters. The gangsters come in all form, all around. Be careful with them. But let me say kudos to Sharma Solomon, the incoming MP, and Coretta McDonald, and others who made that possible. They weren't there for a quick photograph and then rush on social media to post the photographs and say, look. Y'all be careful with those hustlers, Be careful with them. Hey, I've got to go. And this Sunday, I believe, be careful when you cross the bridge, the Demerara Bridge. Just be careful. Now, what if we were to do that again as we close off? Put a photograph of Priya Manichan on the bridge and a photograph of Arya Ali. What if someone did that? Then there would have been a whole host of condemnation. And so we end tonight by again condemning what the PPP has done to Coretta McDonald, incoming MP for APNU, and Odessa Primus, incoming MP for the WIN Group. Condemnation indeed. Will others join in the condemnation? Will the group that Odessa Primus is part of, just as that group, Azruddin and his sister and whoever else that's running the party, rushed to condemn somebody who said something about Arya Ali? They rushed to condemn her. No, you cannot do that. You've got to respect Arya Ali and all these things. Yet no condemnation by the very WIN Group, by Azruddin Mohammed. And we all could read between the lines. We all know what is happening. We big and we smart. We smarter than those individuals who think that they could rush into your communities and swar you. Don't take swar. I'm out of here. And watch out for the hypocrites too, right? I'm out of here. But before I go, do you think this guy, Jermaine Figueroa, is going to condemn what the PPP did with Coretta McDonald and Odessa Primus? Just a question. Do you think they're going to condemn that? No. Jermaine Figueroa is not going to condemn that. Do you think this guy, Selwyn, why our operator always put up a soup here and Selwyn? But nevertheless, do you think Selwyn Peters is going to condemn that? What they did to Coretta McDonald and Odessa Primus? No. These guys are comfortable drinking their soup, and therefore they are not going to condemn anything at all. My name is Mark Bensham. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. God bless all of you. And if you're celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you. Or if any anniversary you're celebrating, happy anniversary. If anyone passed away for you, condolences. If anyone is hospitalized, speedy recovery. God bless all of you and continue to keep hope alive for a beautiful nation, Guyana.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%. Get your give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base. Then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up. You done fed up. He done fed up. She done fed up. We done fed up. The people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how we go set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fair with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows. One set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up. You done fed up. He done fed up. She done fed up. We done fed up. The people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how we set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up. You done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up.